Now, I think we are live. Hi, Alynn, how are you?
Hi, Ainhoa. I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for coming here and, sharing your experience as you are going to do, sharing your experience as a digital nomad, because, well, there are a lot of people with doubts, and it's normal. I want to say here before, and now you will explain everything, how you did it, how you felt, everything. But what I want to say for the people that are here listening is that nomad visas have been in place since more or less I've been applying since January, okay? And we still see changes. They are still, the administration is still asking for different things in different cases. So don't freak out if, for example, you are applying now and they are asking for something new that maybe we don't comment on this case because they keep changing. But that doesn't mean if they ask for something, doesn't mean that it's going to be denied. The other way around, at least if they ask for something, is that they are checking your procedure and that you have chances to get approved. Because when they don't see any chances, they don't ask for anything, they deny it. So, well, Alyn, please introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, how things went
Excellent.
for you in immigration in Spain.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Alynn Rice. I'm originally from the United States and I came over to Madrid with my boyfriend. He works in sales, I work in sales. His company sponsored him. My company did not. So, I went to Ainhoa for her help as I had no idea what to do. And really, her team just helped me gather the documents that I needed and make sure that we submitted everything on time. I'm trying to think of what some of those documents could be. I know one thing that I guess popped up in my case, I know, was the Social Security, which was an
Oh,
from the Spanish government, right? The administration.
yeah.
But everyone on your team helps me with that seamlessly. So there's always an answer and a way to get the document that you need.
Yes. Well, not always, but yes, there are ways to go through. So, but what do you do, Alyn? What
So
do you
I
do for
work,
a living?
sure. So I work in sales, and I'm lucky that I was able to stay with the company that I work with in the United States. They're headquartered there. As a top performer, they let me come here as a contracted employee, which gave me the opportunity to apply for the digital nomad visa.
Okay. So, and were you a freelance or were you a normal employee?
So I'm actually a normal employee that's contracted just because they don't have an entity here in Spain.
Yeah.
Um, but I am still just a sole employee for them. So I'm not a freelance or anything. But with this visa, I suppose I could be, right?
Yeah, exactly. And well, just for the people to understand, what were the documents that you submitted, more or less? You don't have to be so specific, but
Sure, absolutely. I think obtaining your fingerprints in your home country is
very good.
necessary. Your passport. What other information did I provide you?
One thing, you can also take fingerprints here, but things go slower. Okay, so if you are here and you haven't thought about criminal records, or are expired, because criminal records are for nomad visa, no for other procedures like a student, for example, but for nomad visas are valid for 6 months. This is new because normally they were valid for 3 months, but now they have said that they are valid for 6 months. 6 months from the document, not from the apostille, okay, from the document. And I have people that they have come and they have done the documents so ahead in time that when they come, they are expired. This is a common problem. So we can do from here the fingerprints, but it's even slower. And you know that in case of the US, for example, it's already very slow to get the apostille. So if you come here and your criminal records are not valid normally, or you have to go back to your country, so you don't spend the 90 days, or you find another strategy, like, I don't know, staying to study here a little Spanish, so you can gain some time until you have the criminal records. Continue. Sorry, because when you say
No,
things,
that's a great
I
point.
think in things that happen.
That is a great point, because the apostille in the United States did take about 6 weeks for them to complete after submitting the fingerprints there. One other document that I needed to obtain, what was it?
We did a good job. Huh?
I know you really did. I feel like I just gathered everything I needed. Oh, my work contract was one of them, so that it can be translated. I did not go through an agency, Carmen, just to respond to the question. I did not go through an agency for the apostille. I submitted it just straight into the government. And that's why it took so much time. I actually thought about using an agency, but make sure you do some research, because some of them are fake and they don't do the work that they say that they're going to do.
Yeah,
So
and the problem, just to say something, you cannot use those agencies if you do the fingerprints from Spain. Okay, now they don't have the possibility if you get the fingerprints in Spain. So you can only use those agencies if you are getting fingerprints from the US. Sorry, Alynn.
No, that's okay. And to answer Katie's question, actually, the Social Security certificate was one of the last, I think, items that popped up from the administration of a need and requirement from me. And I'm actually still waiting on it, but they made a promise. I think Ainhoa and her team made a promise to the administration that I will have it completed by October or something. They gave me a grace period.
Yeah, exactly. This is, okay, you know that you have 90 days. Well, the days that you have left for Schengen, because it's not that you every time you enter to Europe you have 90 days. You have to check if you have spent some days in the last 90 days, so you would have less days, okay? But if this is a new entrance and you haven't been in Spain for the last 3 months, now you have 90 days. 90 days in Schengen. Be careful, because if you have been traveling through France, that time is you have to count that time, okay? So if you have been 2 weeks in France, you have 3 months minus 2 weeks, okay? So we have those 90 days to do the application, and normally we try to do a complete application. But if something is missing, we have all the time to submit it until they require it, because maybe we submit it even before they see that something is missing, because they have 20 labor days, 20 working days to check the application. If we have it before, we submit it before. If not, we will have even 10 more days after they ask for more documents. And if we don't have it in 10 more days, we can ask for extra time. It's not mandatory for them to give it to us, but normally they give it.
Yes. And then there's one more question that popped in the chat, I know, that I think you can help probably answer better for me.
Okay, because we have here 2 chats, like the private chat and the comments. Okay, you are, what are you reading?
Yeah, the question is, officially, did you apply for the digital nomad visa as an employee or digital nomad visa as a self-employed freelance?
Yes. So let me explain this, because it has been changing from the beginning to now, okay? In the beginning, we did a lot of employees and were approved, okay? Because in the beginning, and I'm telling you this just in case you read different experience, and and you don't understand why now it's not working for you. And it's because this is very new for immigration, and they keep changing criteria. They shouldn't, but it's what they do. They inform us that just applying for the Social Security certificate, they will approve the application, okay? And that's what they were doing in the beginning. We just, without receiving the actual certificate, but just proving that we have applied, it was enough. So we got approvals in the beginning with no problem. Now they have detected, with communication with Social Security, they have detected that they Social Security are not going to issue those certificates. So that is why now, for sure, you have to come as a freelancer, okay? Now, if you are from the US, because from the UK is okay, from Russia is okay. So it depends if the Social Security in that country is going to issue the certificate, the Social Security certificate. In this case, now, for the US, you need to come as a freelancer, as a contractor, because if not, and you will have to commit to become a freelancer in Spain. That is the only way for US citizens right now. Sorry, Ali, you can continue.
No, that's okay. I'm trying to think of some other documents. I know that I needed to, if you have a company that you're working for, they'll need the deed to that organization.
Exactly.
To prove that it's more than a year old, correct?
Correct. And one thing about the contract that you said, it's very important that we show that our clients or company, but in this case, we are going to consider clients, because if you are from the US, we are always going to do it as a freelancer right now. Maybe they change and they give us another option in some months, but right now, only available for freelancers. Well, I will explain this more, but the thing is, what I was saying? The thing is, the contract with clients. Make sure that you clarify that they are okay to work from remotely, okay? That you can work from Spain without having to be there. That is something that I think is very clear, people, but they still have these kind of problems. They forget it. Suddenly there are so many documents to submit. They are a little bit nervous that maybe this thing that is very simple to draft, to do an annex in the contract or whatever, they forget it, okay? And regarding Social Security, yes, there is a way, because I see that that there are people continue saying about the Social Security certificate. There is an option to get this certificate, but you need to have very good relationship with the company, because if the company is willing to register in Spain, not to create a new company in Spain, it's more simple than that. It's registering in Social Security. I can do that for them, okay? But they have to be willing, because they will have to send us the deed, the articles of incorporation. And a lot of companies, okay, they are willing to have you working as a nomad, but they are not willing to do extra procedures for you. So you can, if you have a good relationship with the company, I can help you explain it, but normally they don't want. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
But
it's okay. I got very lucky. Well, I was going to say, I got lucky that my company helped me and just gave me whatever you requested, meaning the deed, really, in my work contract.
Exactly. Yes. That was good. What is the duration of your permit?
I think it's 3 years, right?
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure it said July 2026, which was really exciting.
Yes, they keep asking me this. Yes, it's for 3 years. In any case, we also had some cases in that they were giving for 1 year, which the law doesn't say anything. But I'm telling you this because they still happen a lot of things. They were giving 1 year because they were not sure about this social security certificate. So they should give it for 3 years. They are giving it for 3 years, but maybe in some situations, some people have had it for 1 year. We can tell them to correct it, or you can renew it after a year. If you do it from the consulate, it's for a year. So that is a difference. I always prefer from Spain because when there are problems, it's a little bit easier to access. And for the positive silence, they work better. You know that the law says that it has to be resolved in 20 days. And that there is positive silence. Positive silence means that when they don't answer, they have to resolve it with an approval. Be careful with all of you that are sharing your results, because a lot of you don't see that your resolution has been approved not because you meet all the requirements, but because they haven't had the time to analyze it and they have approved it because of the 20 days. And I'm telling you this because sometimes you share with each other your experience and you say, for me was okay. I submitted this way and was approved. Not really. Was because the administration didn't have time to analyze your file. But if someone else submits the same and they analyze it, maybe they see that something is missing. Okay. Alynn.
And I should note, I did my fingerprints in the US, and then once I had that completed, I then came to Spain after chatting with Ainhoa and making sure that we could get my application in on time under my tourist visa.
Yeah, exactly. Regarding financial means, that is something that a lot of people ask. Okay. One thing is what the law says, okay, and the other thing is what they are applying, really, because what the law says is that you have to have double of the minimum salary for one person. Well, in total for a year, our criteria is to show 26,000 euros, okay, but they mix it with another criteria. Immigration is mixing it with another criteria in which they think that you need to have the same as for the non-lucrative, which is around 30,000 euros. So they feel more comfortable and they keep asking for savings. Even if you meet the requirements of what you earn by the contract, that you have to be earning that, they want to see savings. So if you can show savings, in your case, we did both, right? We show savings and we show contract.
We did.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I gave some sort of access to like my bank account to show all the deposits that came in from my organization. I think before we were doing just invoices, but then they started to ask for more proof.
With you was the change. With you, they start asking for showing that really the money was going into the account, because before they were not asking for this. But since you, in my case was since you, they started asking to double check everything that was true. So double checking that the money really was going into your account from your clients, your company, whatever, which is something important.
Yes, very. And I think that was like the last final ask that they had made. So that was pretty easy to do. I'm trying to think of what other documents I needed to gather.
The medical insurance.
Yes. But I sent that. You asked me for like a list of things right at the beginning, and it made it so easy to just send it all and make sure it was all in one place. I
Yes.
truthfully forgot that. Let me just say, I know, and her team made it really easy to forget about what was going on because I wasn't handling it myself. So,
Well, but and the approval was already some time ago. When did we have it? A month ago, or when did we have your approval, or more?
it was I want to say it was
Or
like
more? 2
3
months.
weeks ago, a month ago, maybe. Yeah.
3 weeks. Okay, 1 month. Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
we started really because for you to understand timing, okay, from when you start until when we have everything ready to submit. As I told you, if you don't have everything ready, do the submission if you are going to run out of the 90 days, of course. But we try to do the more complete as possible, because when they see the first look, they take the first look to your file, the more complete, the better they approach to the file, okay? But in any case, you cannot have the excuse that you didn't have criminal records and then apply in the day 95. No, that is not a possible reason, okay? You leave and you enter again, or you do the application and then you submit the extra document that is missing. But really, even that we say that is 20 days, as Alynn is saying, really takes time, and there are hundreds of emails sometimes going back and forward, because from when you start to when you submit, when they ask extra documents, because when they ask extra documents, they paralyze the time. So they have 20 days, but if then day 15 they paralyze, they stop, and when you submit the extra documents, they have 5 more days to submit, to resolve. So times keep going, and normally, really, you don't have it until 1 month and a half, the approval. Or you have to be really very, very, very well prepared, which maybe you arrive and everything is ready to do the application tomorrow, and there is no requirement, and then yes, you have 20 days, but it's 20 labor days. So in the end, it's nearly a month. And do you have already your plastic? No. No, you were asking me because of the you were asking me the fingerprints. That is another problem.
I have to do my fingerprints here now in Spain, which also takes time to get that appointment once you do get approved. So, which I already knew once my boyfriend had gotten approved on his through his work. It took like 6 weeks to get an appointment for his fingerprints. But there was a really good question here about the Beckham tax law, and I don't know if that applies to me. I know it applies to my boyfriend and his being sponsored with his organization to come here from the US, but I'm sure I can speak more on the Beckham tax law.
What I want to say about taxes, if you check our YouTube or Facebook, okay, we did a specific live with a tax advisor some months ago, and now we will, after this live stream, we are going to do another one in a week or 2 with a tax advisor, because are things that are very related, okay, but not really the same. So we are going to keep all the tax questions, and we will tell you if it's in a week or 2 when Pedro, for you that maybe you remember, or you can check in YouTube, because we have a live of 45 minutes talking to him, and we will talk again because of this new figure as a freelancer. But I think 90% sure that yes, it should apply, because that is what the law says.
Okay, awesome. I'm trying to think of what
were your doubts, your difficulties, or any something that you didn't know?
Right. I would say my biggest doubt was I just wasn't sure how they approve it. So I just wasn't sure. And I guess I can tell everybody here, I don't have a college degree, so I don't have a bachelor's degree or anything. And it is kind of a requirement, and I think it can help. in most cases. So I think I was a little fearful in my case that I didn't, but luckily I had enough work history and background and experience in sales that I was able to be approved.
This is what I always explain. If we have both, if we have bachelor's degree or master's degree and experience, I show both because it's good. And because if you have also the experience, the degree or the master's degree, you don't need to apostille, which is what is more difficult or slower. So if we have both situations, we show both. But as you can say, and it's very good because people are a little afraid about that, it's not needed. And if you really show your experience, it's fine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say, my boyfriend had to get his degree apostilled as well. So that was something he had to think about before coming over to Spain, for those that do have a degree and are planning on doing that. But no, yeah, that was probably my biggest worry, was that I don't, but I have the work experience, and it all worked out. So, and the fact that it's a new visa, so I just wasn't sure what that process was going to look like as well, how quickly it would move, and if there were going to be any setbacks or challenges.
Yes, and we're still the same. I always say, I was saying in January, and it has happened because it happens with all the new visas or permits. In the beginning, it's always easier because we are lost, but immigration is also lost. So they, when they only have 20
They're
days
learning too.
Yeah, when they only have 20 days to resolve in the beginning, I always say, don't worry, we submit it because it's after some situation in which they haven't had time to resolve and to figure out what they want, is when they set a criteria. Like now, they are tougher than in the beginning. Maybe in a year will already be even not tougher. We will have more solutions, because I think the tougher time is right now when it's not new. Okay, they start asking for a lot of things, and some things are not possible, even not possible. So maybe in a year they will know what is possible and not possible to ask, and they will maybe do better agreements with Social Security in other countries. Right now is when they are coming a little bit more picky with documents. But I always say, try, because if you can quickly, more or less, if you don't have, if you are not applying in the last 30 days, you have time to do another strategy. You have time to correct your application and apply again, because having a denial is not bad. Nothing happens. You apply again and nothing happens. You have the time to think in another option, like, okay, I get a Spanish course. I study 4 months while I organize everything again. So don't be afraid, okay? Because Spain is not a place in which the police is going to go next day to your door and tell you you had a denial, go out. It's true that the law, if you ask me for the legal thing, the law says that in 10 days of a denial, you have to leave. But they don't apply this, and they even allow to do different kinds of applications, okay? So, well, for the people that are, because there are people that get very worried about doing something wrong with the administration. It's not doing something wrong. It's maybe missing some document if maybe you don't have everything and you are not sure about it, but it's not going to have any punishment. You are going to be able to apply again whenever you are ready. And well, Alynn, and how is life in Spain? You like it? Is your first time living here?
It is my first time living here. I live in Madrid. I love it. I couldn't be happier to live here. It's a little warm right now, but that's okay.
Where are you now? What city?
So I live in the Las Acacias neighborhood.
Okay, yeah, Las Acacias, yes.
Yes. I love it down there. It's amazing. I love being close to the river and being able to walk around. There was a water festival, or a water fight, a few weeks ago that we went to a different neighborhood. That was really fun. The food is incredible. So I couldn't be more excited for everybody who's attended that wants to live here. Go for it. Apply for the visa. You won't regret it.
Perfect. And in any case, imagine that you cannot get the correct documents for Nomad visa. There are a lot of permits. Maybe you have to know that maybe we can do a highly qualified worker, okay? Maybe the student, because you get 30 hours of work permit through a student. So it's good to think about, the good thing about talking to an immigration lawyer is that we are going to tell you all the options. Maybe you have several options to go and you choose one or the other because it's more beneficiary for you. So for example, in golden visas, I always explain a golden visa and a non-lucrative visa, because sometimes if people want the passport, there is no much difference, because the golden visa allows you to be outside from Spain more than 6 months, and the non-lucrative no. But if you want the passport, doesn't matter. And talking about that is something that they ask me a lot. If a nomad can be more than 6 months outside. Really, the criteria was published as no, that you need to be 6 months per year in Spain. When we say Spain, really, in reality, is Europe, because they don't really have the means to know if you are in Spain or France or Portugal. And the other thing is that now there is a ruling talking about that and saying that immigration shouldn't put a limit to be out of Spain, because it's interfering in your freedom to move. So they haven't changed the law yet, but they should change the criteria. So if you are 6 months per year, it's perfect. No, you will not have to fight anything. But if you are more than 6 months per year outside, of course you can apply always again. Is that you wouldn't get a renewal, you apply again. But in this case, since the ruling that says that the immigration cannot have this ban to be outside, I recommend you to fight if you are interested in a renewal.
And then really quick, Ainhoa, you're able to assist with applications in all cities in Spain, right? Not just Madrid?
Yes, because for all of you to know, applications are online. Don't get crazy looking for an appointment. There are no appointments, which is better, because looking for an appointment in Spain and in the consulates is a headache, okay? So this is better. The only thing that you need to have a digital certificate. I do it with mine as a lawyer, but if you want to do it yourself, you can ask for a friend that has it, a family member that has it, okay? So because that is what you are going to need. Because it's online, we help all Spain. And if there is any problem, the office that resolves is in Madrid. But doesn't matter. But when I have a problem, I go to the office to ask, and it's easy for me because it's in Madrid. But no one needs to be in Madrid to do the application. My clients are all over Spain, a lot in Valencia, a lot in Malaga. They look for the sea, but a lot of those in Madrid also, that we don't have the sea, but we have a lot of things. People are very happy in Madrid too.
We do, and the sea isn't far away if you want to go for a visit.
Exactly, in 3 hours or less. Depending if you go by plane, you have the sea. Well, wherever you want to live in Spain or keep moving, because the good thing is that for the fingerprints in Madrid, because you can do fingerprints in Madrid, even if you are going to live in some other city. So you don't need empadronamiento. This is something that they ask a lot. If they need empadronamiento is a registration of the address, okay? And they ask for this for every procedure, except now they are not asking for the Nomad visas in Madrid, they are not asking for empadronamiento. So you can keep traveling through Spain, because a lot of people tell me, I don't have an empadronamiento because I'm going to stay in an Airbnb and they don't allow me to do the empadronamiento in an Airbnb, which is true. So don't worry, we try in the city that you are, but if they are not so familiar, because in some cities, small cities, they are a little lost with the Nomad visa, worst case scenario, you come to Madrid, you put fingerprints and you keep traveling. Let's see some questions. And I am, Bernard say, I am the owner of my company in the US and would like to know if I could use my own company to apply for the Nomad visa. Yes, we do a lot of those. We are doing it as a freelancer with your own company. It's the same. Don't worry. It has worked very well like that. Have you seen any other question, Alynn? Interesting question.
No, I think we got to all of them, unless anyone else has any others that they want to throw in the chat.
Okay. In any case, this live will be seen also tomorrow or in a month by someone in YouTube. Keep us asking questions. I will try to do another, I don't know, another live in 2 months to talk about different criteria that they have. Maybe they are the same, hopefully. But I always try to do live and tell about the differences, like it happened with Alynn with the bank statements. Carmen, can you please share a contact info? Yes, I can share it here, and I will put it also afterwards in the Facebook and Instagram and all that.
To speak to what Carmen just wrote, Carmen, I had met with a different attorney before I had met with Ainhoa, and I was so disappointed, and it felt not good. And I came to Ainhoa at a time that I was feeling pretty desperate and sad and needed some answers and movement in my visa process. And she made me feel so comfortable and gave me so many options, had a backup plan for the backup plan.
Always backup plans, yes.
So I just really couldn't recommend Ainhoa and her team more for everybody.
Thank you for your words, Alynn.
Yeah, absolutely.
You will always also very positive, because it's true that during the procedure they can ask for things. Don't worry, okay? For all of you that they can ask, be positive. You will get it, okay? It's just a matter of breathing, get relaxed, and submit what they want, okay? And if you are working together, we will help you getting those documents. Don't worry. Okay, Alynn, so thank you for sharing your experience. I hope the next time we talk about renewal or something.
I would love that.
Something else that you would like to have. Also, something that they ask me a lot, Nomad visa, you can apply for long-term residency and Spanish citizenship, okay? So a U.S. citizen normally look more for the long-term residency, which is the permanent residency, because it's after 5 years. But really, if you have been in Spain, you can apply for that, because the problem is when you are not in Spain, because the larga duración, the long-term residency, asks you not to be outside Spain, which really is Schengen, 10 months in the last 5 years. That is a very tough limit, okay? So if you have been more outside, you can keep renewing your Nomad visa, because the first year is for 3, but then renewals are for 2. But if you reach the 5 years and you meet that requirement, you haven't been more than 10 months in the last 5 years outside Spain, then go ahead and do the long-term residency, which is better. It's a residency for your whole life, which will allow you to work as an employee in Spain, to work remotely, to be a freelance, to study, and to be able to come back to Spain whenever. When you get this residency, you can leave Spain for 10 years and come back, and you will have a residency and a work permit. So it's really a residency for your whole life.
That's really cool.
You didn't
That's
know
really
that,
good to know.
huh?
Yeah, that's really good to know. I love that.
Okay. So, well, thank you very much, Alynn. I hope you enjoy your summer and you travel a little because you can with your Nomad permit. And we'll keep in touch with all of you. Leave your questions and we will be answering them. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.